Has John Jones just confirmed he's fighting Tom Aspinall? He's very vague about it. I don't know what to think. I think it's positive, though, by the way that he talks about this, because recently he's been saying a lot of, like, I don't know what's next for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just focused on life. I'm just focused on life right now. So I don't really know what's going to happen. But this was at his seminar yesterday, and I did check. It was uploaded yesterday to this guy's TikTok, at FinnWG. It was uploaded yesterday because he did a seminar in Thailand yesterday. And someone asked him, when are you fighting Tom? We're going to play his response, and then get into what I think.
When are you fighting Tom?
The UFC, and Tom, we all got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. They're one of the biggest organizations in sports. And right now, Tom and I have agreed to wait for the UFC to make their announcements. So I immediately can't talk about it.
Oh, now, is he avoiding the question? Or is he... Well, this is what... Two options here. Two options. He's either avoiding the question because he doesn't want to say no. He's saying, look, I can't say anything. We've agreed to let the UFC make their announcement when they want to. Whether that's Tom versus Garn and Jones is stripped, all right? Or if it is John versus Tom, they've agreed to just leave the UFC to it. And all the back and forth, because they have been going back and forth more recently. Maybe it's to build hype up for the fight that is going to happen. Because John's been responding to Tom. Tom's been going after John. Okay, Tom's been responding to John. They've both been responding to each other on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. All right, and the way John Jones is smiling there, I don't know. It just seems like, is it too good to be true? Am I being too hopeful? I hope that this is the case. That the reason why he can't say anything is because the UFC are waiting for a Netflix deal, and that's going to be their first pay-per-view on the Netflix show. That's what I think. The UFC are waiting until they have a deal in place with maybe Netflix or some other streaming service, whoever, before they drop this bombshell of John versus Tom for the Netflix debut. And they want to get the numbers and the viewership to Netflix. That's my thoughts on this, especially after seeing this. You know, John Jones is saying, I legally can't say anything. Me and Tom have agreed to let the UFC make their own announcements. It's very vague. It could go either way. But I'm actually feeling quite hopeful. I think this is a good response. It makes people talk about it, keeps people guessing. I know I slated the guy the other day because he said, I don't know what life is gonna, what did he say? I don't know what life holds for me in terms of fighting and competing anymore. And now here he's saying, we've agreed to let the UFC make their own announcement, so I can't say anything. But they'll be going back and forth more, which is building up a little more hype for the fight. Because the hype's dwindling slightly because no one gives a fuck about it because it's taking the piss. But this is good stuff, I think. I think this is good. This is a good sign. I mean, obviously he had to address the question because someone asked him it, but he could have just said, I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to enjoy life right now, and you know, I'm just focusing on me and blah blah blah. I can kind of dip in and out when I want. Well, I like what he's been saying to people, but we've agreed to let the UFC announce it on their terms. So maybe, just maybe, they've both agreed, but they are waiting for the UFC to announce it themselves, i.e. for a Netflix deal or something like that. I think that's going to be the first fight, the first pay-per-view that they do with potentially Netflix. That's what I'm thinking now. I'm hopeful again for this fight, and I hope that my hopefulness doesn't get shattered into a million pieces because we don't get this fight. All right? I'm hopeful again. I really am hopeful. I think this is a decent answer. Gets people thinking about it. What does he mean? Does this mean that they've accepted the fight? Does this mean that he hasn't? But I do feel like if John Jones said no to the fight, he'd have just said, I'm not interested. I'm focusing on other things. I'm focusing on building my brand, being a good father, doing this and that. But the fact that he said, in fact, let's replay it. Let's replay it one more time.
When are you fighting Tom?
The UFC, and Tom, we all got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. They're one of the biggest organizations in sports. And right now, Tom and I have agreed to wait for the UFC to make their announcements. So I immediately can't talk about it.
I don't know, guys. I think I'm kind of hopeful again. Am I being delusional? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Not a long video today. I just wanted to get this out there. Let me know what you think. Does this mean that he's actually taking the fight? Or is he just being vague, dancing around the fact that he's not fighting Tom? I'm feeling quite optimistic for a change. Like and subscribe. My links are down below. Till next time, I'll see you in a bit.